Coming to you live from the PLA Situation Room in beautiful Roy, New Mexico. You're listening to the Phone Losers of America show.
There's a YouTube channel that I watch religiously. Phone Losers of America, they post prodigiously. No kidding, hacking hidden cameras, making hella calls. Social engineering, Brad is catching Pokeballs in the backseat of your car, and he's so very sorry. He was searching for the Snorlax, so he scratched up your Ferrari. Left a number on the dash, so you called him up so fast just to have a little chat, but he's sorry, don't get mad. Cactus, the house is not a pool. And if you buy an iPad on the street, that's not too cool. And if you work at Pizza Hut, he's got you on the camera. Tell them you're from corporate and you're in there just like Santa. A shopping spree, people get deceived, dude. Switching off the power, people will believe you. A blockbuster red box, we just put it in. Our BCP for the win once again. PLA all day. PLA all day.
Hey everyone, can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. You're listening to the PLA show, the call-in show thing. I'm still trying to figure out audio stuff.
You are bad at your job. It's evident. You don't know what you're doing.
I'm working on it, Mr. Biggs.
Should I be saying something now?
No, Roger, be quiet. He hasn't introduced us yet. Just be quiet a second.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No, he's ruining the show.
I have to introduce you. Okay, so with me today, as always, are two podcasters I've been listening to for nearly a decade now.
What do you mean, as always? We've never been on your show before.
It's a thing I do, okay? It's just a thing. It's this thing. All right, never mind. Forget. So you both worked in radio on an AM station known as K-Shine when they did a call-in show called Ask Mr. Biggs, which ended suddenly and nobody knows why really. And you're currently...
No, lots of people know why. Maybe you don't know why. I'm well aware of it.
I don't know.
There.
Well, maybe we can
so
talk.
Ownership changed hands, that's what that's what I understand.
Well, we could have stayed. I mean, if we were willing to play ball and speak that weird language that they wanted us to talk, maybe.
Well, or we could have done that show about the crystal rocks.
I'm not into crystals, so.
Steven Universe?
It was something about, we had to do something new agey or what do they call it? Psychosomatic. I don't know. I forget what they called it, but if we were willing to do one of those kinds of shows and get people to buy the crystal rocks, we could have stayed on.
Sounds like those pearl shows on Facebook. People opening up the clams and selling the pearls.
All right, this show is already getting dirty, and I do not care for this direction.
No, it's not going to be like that, Mr. Biggs.
So you got weird euphemisms that are not appropriate for children? Keep it clean, Brad.
Currently, you guys are doing a podcast called Stick with Mr. Biggs.
Stick it.
Do. Yeah, I forgot to do that.
That's right, yes.
Oh, thank you. I think that's the only podcast about glues and adhesives since, who was it, Chuck? He shut his glue podcast down or something?
Yeah, we left him running with his tail between his legs.
Anyway, today's guests are Roger and Mr. Biggs from Ask Mr. Biggs.
Hi, Brad.
Hey, what'd you think of my intro?
It was awkward and disjointed. It started and stopped and was... Roger, what did you think of his intro?
I'm new at this.
I mean, give him an honest opinion.
Well, I having been in the position of having to give intros, I know that it can be a tough task, and if you're sort of stuck between a rock and another rock, and if you prepare it too much, you sound like it's stiff, and you're reading. But then if you go sort of off the cuff, and it doesn't work, then you struggle. So I think maybe option B may.
What Roger is trying to say is he knows a bad intro when he hears one, and we all just heard one right there.
I've never worked in AM radio before, so this isn't a professional operation. I'm just kind of here on my computer.
So is this on internet then?
Yeah, we're broadcasting on Facebook. Facebook.com/phone losers. We're also on a shoutcast machine. phonelosers.org.
Is this
/live.
It's live though. It's a live.
Yes, it's live.
Netcast.
There's 33 people listening on Facebook. There's
That
I
is
don't know.
that is a lot of people.
Yeah. Don't tense up. We've got a call coming in. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Cactus.
Hey. How you
Cactus.
doing?
Hey,
How you doing?
Cactus.
You're on with Roger and Mr. Biggs and Brad.
Cactus.
What's your name and where are you calling from? You see, Brad, that's how you do it. You gotta
Cactus.
Well, he's
pull some
foreign.
information out of him.
He's saying some word that I don't understand.
My name
What's
is
your-
Cactus
what's-
and I'm calling
what's your
from
question?
Cactus.
What's your question for Mr. Biggs?
Do you have a question
Cactus.
about glues or adhesives? I'm sorry, I shouldn't ask that. That's your thing. I don't want to compete.
Cactus.
All right, we'll hang up on him. We've got another call. You're on the air.
It's Adolf.
What's your
Adolf
name?
Nippler.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
Nippler.
What?
Adolf Nippler.
Oh, hey, Adolf Nippler. You're on the
Roadwinners.com.
You're on the air with Mr. Biggs and Roger.
Oh, hey, Mr. Biggs and Roger.
What the hell is going on?
You know,
Does he always yell like that? Is that his?
What is he so angry about?
It might be
Because we're gang.
his signature.
The
It might be
phone
his
winner's
signature. Audio stamp.
Did you say something to him, Roger, to set him off and make him angry and screamy?
I've never. No.
Okay. I'm not sure
Yeah,
you're
you
telling the
pissed me
truth, but I'm going to take you at your word because I'd like for this show to just move along and not stop for long
How long
periods
is
of
the show gonna
time
be
with no
live for?
content.
For an entire me?
for an entire.
I don't know what that means.
For an entire.
For an entire me.
Yeah, I just.
Brad, I know. Hey, everyone, look over here. Attention on Biggs. Brad was on internet site. Name of the Facebooks. And he wrote up a description for this show. And he made a little whoopsie-doo. And he wrote, for an entire me, Roger and Mr. Biggs will be taking your calls.
Crud.
And what happened? No, Brad, I'm explaining.
Okay.
That caller was reading that because he was either making fun of you or he was calling to inquire about what the hell that means. Because I got to be honest, I don't understand what it means either. What does that mean, Brad?
I see what you mean. I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I'm figuring things out here.
We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for a minimal level.
So I have a
some
question. I have a question.
pronoun situations.
Was it publicly known why you quit K-Shine? Because that's like something we just learned brand new about Roger and Mr. Biggs, as far as I know. I didn't know that.
Some people on Patreon might have known about it. I mean, we've got a Patreon page at patreon.com/Mr. Biggs, and we told some of them. I don't know if we haven't really talked about it on the show very much. It's kind of a sore subject.
You guys just kind of
it's,
disappeared years ago, and I almost forgot all about you. I was still listening from time to time to the archives.
Well, you've got, I don't want to say his name, but you've got Mondo to thank for that one. We never stopped doing Ask Mr. Biggs. We started doing that show back in, what was it, Roger? What was that, 06?
That sounds about... No. Wait, 06?
I'm talking
15,
2006.
18.
When I say 06, I mean 2006.
06 sounds about right.
Yeah, and then around 012, Mondo lost the password to the website, and he stopped posting the shows. And none of us paid any attention to that crap because, I mean, why would you? And as it turns out, he did not post any of the shows between 2012 and 2017.
So only the people local to K-Shine could actually listen.
Yeah. And unfortunately, those shows are lost. The recordings are gone. And it was only discovered. Did you
Mondo
keep the tapes?
Mondo claims he has the tapes and is willing to negotiate some sort of negotiation meeting. He's willing to accept some sort of exchange for those tapes. So I don't know what our limit is. How much
Roger.
we're willing to.
Mondo is
pay.
he is in no position to negotiate anything. All right, he is dead to me. I could not care less because we have moved on and we got a new show now, and we don't need K-Shine. We don't need terrestrial
Is anyone
radio.
here?
Yeah.
I like how the new show is more specific. It's about glues and adhesives. It's something that, because you had like just all topics on the old show, and sometimes I just didn't care about them.
Yeah, you and me both.
With the Stick It with Mr. Biggs, you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
I liked reaching out to the people, though. I liked hearing from the people. I think people liked hearing us talking to them specifically, and that's the immediacy of terrestrial radio, and I think that we're losing that as an audience of audio.
You're wrong, Roger. We already lost it. We don't have jobs anymore. It's already gone.
Well, we were comparing, the current podcast to the last one, and I'm just saying I enjoyed some of the people that called the show.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We don't have that
crazy
now.
People, nutballs and crazy beans. Yeah, those.
Well,
I really miss those. Those were great.
There was a couple.
Yeah.
We've got a caller. Do you have a question for Mr. Biggs or Roger?
Yeah,
Caller, go ahead.
This is Dr. Tom Servo, and Cody is not a robot. And he needs to wake up now. Wake up!
Wake up, Cody.
This is interesting, Brad. I am establishing a pattern with this show. You take phone calls, right?
Yeah, I take phone calls. People yell nonsense, and they hang up. Usually. Yeah.
So that's better than what we did. This is the wave of the future, like this.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I've got great news for everyone. If you like the discombobulated nonsense that you're hearing right now, very soon Roger and I will be doing a few select live call-in shows on internet as well on our own. And maybe you crazy people who are calling up and saying nothing can just sit quietly and listen instead of calling that show, because I'm confused and a little bit scared.
I've listened to a few of your test shows. They're fun. They're interesting.
They were test shows, though.
Yeah, you had people calling you up and yelling cactus for some reason.
Yeah, what is that? Go ahead, Roger.
Oh, I don't think we've really established our internet footprint yet, and once we attract our people who are naturally drawn to us, I think the quality is going to go up.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah.
Roger. Hey, Roger. Roger.
Roger.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Hey, Roger.
Roger.
Hello.
Hey, Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
That was a good answer to that question. I just wanted to say good job.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
You're on the air, caller.
Oh, hey, everybody. How's it going? Great Big Pete.
It's Pete?
Yeah,
Big Pete. No, I think he said Rick Dees. This is Rick Dees calling.
Rick Dees.
Yeah.
Radio legend.
Yeah, the weekly top 40. The weekly top
How many?
40.
What? Yeah. How many degrees is it outside?
It's always 69.
Whoa.
Yes.
I don't understand.
Caller,
I don't know. You guys ran with that.
Can you speak up, caller? Can you speak up louder?
I have a question about glue.
Ask it louder. Get closer to your phone. Roll up your windows. Turn off your speaker.
No.
If you have false teeth, make sure you put your false teeth in so that you can enunciate clearly.
Go ahead.
Disco Duck. Disco
hey,
Duck.
guys. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounds great. What's your question?
All right. My question is adhesive.
Yeah.
My hamster has a hole in it.
Okay.
And I want to know what adhesive is the best. Like, there was a cyst in the hole, and I want to know the best adhesive to, glue my hamster back together that doesn't get to kill it with toxicity and shit.
Again, I'd like to clarify that this is not a competing podcast with Mr. Biggs. This is not a show about
No.
glues and adhesives, but
I mean, I'm willing to take adhesive questions, but it is not exclusively about adhesives and glues, right?
I want to avoid confusion.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Okay.
said you had some conflicting information in your call. You said there was a, quote, hole in your hamster. Did I hear you right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was a hole in my hamster.
And then you said you wanted to have an adhesive to put the hamster back together, which implies that it has been disassembled in some way. Have you disassembled your hamster?
No disassembled. No.
All right. So
There's
there was a
just
cyst.
a hole in
that
the
you-
hamster. And,
All right,
and there was a cyst.
Brad,
And then
next
this
call.
came
Next
out,
call.
and then
Just hang up on this guy.
I'm sorry.
I'll just hang up on him.
What Mr. Big says.
I think it's time to hang up the phone.
I have a hunch, and I may be wrong, but I got a gut feeling that was one of your prank 'em up calls that you're so famous for.
You know-
I've heard about them. Brad. I'm not dumb.
I seem to get a lot of them, and I think it's because I do another show about prank calls.
Oh, do
It's
you?
just not much I can
Do
do
you-
about it.
Do prank calls? Do people prank call you as a result of you being a prank caller?
Yes. It's an ongoing thing. Every call-in show I've done, I've gotten lots of prank calls. People set up Craigslist
So-
ads for me, and I just get tons and tons of calls. It's a real problem. It's hard to
Guess
do a
you-
normal
you-
call-in show.
You kind of have it coming to you, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
One could say that you deserve what you're getting.
Yeah. I can't complain, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
Hey, Brad.
it's a price you pay for doing a crank call show.
That's true.
Do you ever sit, like, maybe at your bathroom vanity looking into the mirror and just gaze into the abyss and think, what have I done with my life?
Hello?
Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, I want to know what the best adhesive to keep the family together is.
That's easy. The best adhesive to keep a family together is a healthy serving of hugs and kisses.
Hey, I like that. I have
So-
those in spades.
So saliva works as
And
an
furthermore,
adhesive.
about the false teeth thing, is there a way to get those permanently stuck into your head?
There is such a thing as dental implants, but that requires that they drill into your jawbone. And they
Yeah, well,
put
I've got
anchors
a
in
power
there.
drill myself. I'm sure I could do that here. I just have
No,
some good
no, no.
cyanoacrylate like you prescribed. Is that going to work?
I have never
I just worry about
prescribed
the
CA for dental
wetness
implants. That is a
in the
that is a
mouth.
lie.
If anything happens to you, I believe that Mr. Biggs is offering to.
He is responsible. Like, he'll pay for it if something goes wrong, I think.
Or I think a
my
lawsuit could be in order if.
Roger,
Yeah.
did I say that I would do this for this guy? Did I forget that?
Well, you
I don't remember
This
that.
is on record. Like, I've got witnesses here.
I thought you
You guys
implied
are
it.
in the chat. You know. He
I didn't
said
say
if
that.
anything happens,
Roger,
we
help
can
me
hold
out
it. We
here.
can take it out of the Patreon fund.
I find that
Come on, Roger,
just
you heard him.
A good game night helps keep the family together. Like Monday
This is
nights,
only
like
fair.
board games together.
Yeah,
That's
I
good
like
advice.
Yeah,
Hungry
something that's
Hippos.
worth.
You can just put real teeth in there instead of those little balls.
I don't
Okay, well,
follow.
I'm gonna go fill my mouth full
Yeah,
of
that's a great idea. I think maybe
blue.
you should go. Hey, Brad, maybe you could, I don't know, drive the bus here. Maybe take control of the wheel.
Can you
Direct-
put it up your
direct
nose?
it.
Will
Why
that
not?
work?
Can you recommend
What,
a good drill bit to use in his gums?
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you,
I
Brad.
find that a metal boring bit is more useful in those situations because the
No, I
gums
want it
are a
to be
moist
entertaining. I'm
environment,
not-
and you want something that's going to
can't have
auger out
Anything
the
dull or
raw, fleshy
uninteresting,
material.
So boring's not gonna work for me. Try
Huh.
again.
Are you just going to reject every answer that I give you?
I'll just hang up on him.
That's a great
I've
idea.
had a lot of-
See, now that's what I'm talking about. Brad is driving the bus.
That's right. How'd you two end up doing a show together on K-Shine?
Oh, that's
Was Roger was one of you an employee there already? Did you just approach
Roger,
them with
do you
the
want
show
me to tell
idea?
the story, or do you want to tell the story?
Well, Mr. Biggs wanted to. He bought the time on K-Shine. He bought a half hour of time on K-Shine, and the idea was he was using it as a vehicle to promote whiz bangs.
Roger, do the thing.
We didn't want to.
Do the thing right here. You just said whiz bangs. This is a missed opportunity.
Whiz bangs at the corner of Phillips and Mountain downtown, where the fun never ends and the parties never ending.
Yeah.
I don't know if we still have the. Is the onion special? That's off the board, right?
No onion special this month.
Onion sandwich.
You don't promote whiz bangs on the podcast. Is that just because it's a global podcast more than a local thing, or do you know?
Well, when we were doing it on K-Shine, as Roger just mentioned, I was doing it in lieu of compensation. I was paying for the time, and I was being paid in advertising. Do you understand?
It was like an infomercial, but instead of filling the entire time with just talk of whiz bangs, you would take calls as entertainment to keep people listening and then hearing the whiz bangs promotions.
I see.
It was a very popular show. Everyone loved it.
It makes sense.
You're right. It does.
I understand now.
It's like a barter kind of agreement. Isn't that what they call that?
So it started off as a barter, and then it kind of morphed into a quasi-trade, talent-sharing organizational agreement.
How did Roger get?
Roger used to run their public service department, and he would take all the public service announcements that would come into K-Shine, and he would type them up on 3x5 cards.
Right. And then I also was backup newscaster on weekends.
So Roger was an employee at the station. He wasn't like an employee at Whizbangs or anything.
Right.
You know, in fact, the very first Ask Mr. Big show, Roger was not the co-host. There was another man by the name of Bernard Hojanecki. And he and I did not see eye to eye on that very first show. So midway through, it did not come to fisticuffs, but I asked him to leave, and luckily Roger was there with his public service announcement cards and was willing to step in and finish things up, and we have been together ever since.
It's worked out. It's worked out pretty well.
Well, for the most part. I mean, not always.
You're a good
Sometimes
team.
it works, and the other times it does not work very well.
Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Claire.
Ah, Jesus. Hey, who is it?
It's Claire.
Clay?
Claire? Claire.
Rev?
Hey, I was not the one cactusing you before.
Yeah. What?
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Biggs, can you hear me?
Hi. How you doing? I don't know what you were saying.
He said your name.
You are a foreigner.
He said your name, Mr. Biggs.
Yay!
Why do you know so much about glues and adhesives? Are you like a professional gluer or what?
I am a self-taught glue and adhesive enthusiast. I have a lifelong history of gluing things together. I've done the research. I've put in the time at the workbench. I know what will work and what will not. And that's all you need to know.
It's his area of expertise,
I'm a
that's all.
procrastination enthusiast. So we're both enthusiasts.
Right. I am suspicious of your accent. Yeah.
There's really no certification you can get. So really, the only kind of credentials that Mr. Biggs has is his word. What credentials do you have, sir?
I have credentials to Mr. Biggs' Gmail account.
I don't know what that means.
He said he has
wait. I understood a few of those words, and some of them were English, and they were in an odd order, and then other words were interspersed that made no sense whatsoever. So I'm going to offer the following response. Yeah, you're right. That's great. Thanks for the call.
No,
Yeah.
wait, you're right.
No, you are.
No, you.
No, you are right.
He's gone.
I have a feeling that was one of those jackbooted thugs from the National Glue Association questioning my credentials again.
Has that been a problem in the past?
If any more of those come through, Brad, I want you to hit the, I don't know, what button do you have? Does it say hang up or?
Yeah, it's the hang up icon.
Yeah, you click the hang up icon if the National Glue Association guy calls again.
That's a scam operation, isn't it? You mentioned that once before.
It is a scam operation, and the dues that they require their members to pay, I'm pretty sure, are used for terrorist activities.
His number will be easy to recognize. You know, it's like a plus crazy country code thing.
Yeah, he was Al Qaeda for sure. No doubt about that.
Get all kinds calling in here.
Hey, Roger.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you hear what I said about that guy?
You said he was Al
Qaeda.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Hey, did everybody get their Lorna Doones? I sent a package to everybody. Did everyone get their Lorna Doones?
I have not checked my P.O. box today.
Yeah, I got the Lorna Doones.
I will right after the show, though.
Well, I was just kind of. I thought it would be nice, kind of a nice bonding thing, in a sort of a physical bonding thing where we all have Lorna
Nobody
Doones.
wants to eat cookies with you.
I thought you were kidding when you said you sent them, and that's why I didn't check the P.O. box.
Right.
I would have.
Can you send your board operator down to check?
You know, by the time he got back, I think the show would be over. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, I got a question for Mr. Biggs.
Sure.
Why doesn't anyone have questions for Roger?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have a question. Why doesn't anyone have questions for Roger? That's my question.
Roger, why does no one have questions for you?
No, that's not really necessary because I'm Mr. Biggs is the guy that has all the knowledge, and I'm just the guy that introduces it and says, "Caller, go ahead."
Yeah, Roger knows. He knows.
So caller, go. Oh, and I bring in the ambrosia salad.
That is good stuff. Oh man.
So what's your question?
Hey, I called in to your touch show last week, and I told you I was fucking my cactus, and it split apart, and I needed an adhesive to put it back together.
Maybe the call was cutting in and out, but the way that it cut out sounded like he was using profanity. Did I hear that? Did anyone else hear that?
Sorry, I have cricket.
Yeah,
Hey, Brad.
I think it was just his wireless carrier. He's with Cricket. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, I was fucking my cactus, and it split in half, and I was
he definitely said profanity. Brad, can you dump that?
Yep.
Do you have a delay?
It's gone. I hung up. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Olga.
How's it going?
Hey, Olga.
What you doing?
I'm taking a bath.
Hey, do you mind if I eavesdrop on your conversation?
What's happening?
I don't know. I think her husband picked up the phone, the extension.
Did we just
I'm
get
on the
hacked?
extension, Brad. It's King Richard.
Oh, hey, King Richard. Do you have
Hey, Brad. How are you?
I'm great. I'm here with Mr. Biggs and Roger, and you can ask questions to any of us, or if you have comments, or whatever.
Olga, do you want to ask your question?
Wait, who's the question is for?
I think.
Wait, the woman has a question. I'm confused.
I think she said she's in the bath.
Yeah, I'm taking a bath.
That's weird.
What kind of show is this, Brad?
Yeah.
You want to be careful with that phone in
I'm
the
just
bath.
sitting. I'm just.
Electricity and water.
I'm just sitting on the toilet.
You better hope nobody calls, because you're going to get a jolt of 480 volts right through your naughty bits there in the bath. Don't do that.
Probably.
Be careful, Olga.
I'll try.
Maybe
I'll try. But
maybe
that's
that's the sort of thing they were trying to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those AIDS.
Roger.
Marital
Roger,
marital
you're
AIDS.
embarrassing me. Don't say stuff like that. She doesn't have AIDS. Why would you even say that?
Marital.
Listen, I'm sorry, caller. Roger does not think that you have the AIDS. He misspoke. It was an accident.
I don't think girls even get AIDS.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that kind of thing.
Did you have a question, though?
Oh, but you have AIDS?
I don't have a question. Yeah, we're just calling in and annoying you. Sorry.
Oh, I should have known.
Oh, wow.
Just want to see what you're up to.
Just like...
Have we begun?
Yeah, the show, we started about 32 minutes ago, it looks like.
So, so if they were calling to annoy us, I'm just spitballing here. They were calling to annoy us, and then the previous callers were calling.
Also,
I'm a little. Can we clear the air on that? Now, who
clear the lines?
I just want to make sure that I'm following correctly because this is new to me. I've never done this sort of thing before. Are we taking the calls in sequence, or have you like moved them around? Because they said they were calling to annoy us, yet I'm thinking that's sort of been the case all along. I mean, they were acting as if that's something different. That's
Roger's saying that he's been pretty much annoyed for the past half hour, I guess.
Oh. Damn.
So, nothing new to us, Olga.
Yeah, I guess we're not unique over here. Whatever.
Yep, I guess not. Okay, they're gone.
Oh,
I didn't mean to, raise hackles. I was just wanted a clarification.
No,
I didn't mean any
Roger,
trouble.
Roger, keep in mind, we are guests on Brad's show, and if you are going to say things like that, he is liable to get offended and not ask us back, which, I will add, is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is remarkably rude to do it on the air.
I guess I kind of thought maybe the board operator would the screener would screen calls. It sounds like they're not. It sounds like maybe. What's your screener doing right now? Is he there?
Roger, I don't have a Mondo here. It's just me. It's like the calls come up on my screen. They pop up on little windows.
Yeah.
And I click
screener,
on them.
That's where the name comes from.
I say, hey,
The calls
caller.
on the screen.
Are you on? Yeah.
It's like Art Bell.
It's
Art Bell open phones.
It's a literal screener.
It's Todd.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, man, I got an actual question for you guys.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. What's the liquid opposite of an adhesive?
Is this one of them jokes? Is this the setup for a joke? I don't understand. I've never heard that one.
It's a real question, dog.
What is the opposite of a liquid adhesive? A solid adhesive, I guess. Tape.
Gee.
Huh.
Take that, Todd.
Sounds like
Listen,
a riddle.
Brad.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm not going to speak for Roger here. Roger, can I speak for you for a moment? Do you mind?
Well, I trust your judgment, so I'm going to go ahead and let you do that.
Okay. If I begin to misspeak, I want you to interject immediately and correct me. All right?
Sure.
Will you do that?
Yes.
I think that right now would be a fantastic time for us to take a moment, catch our breaths, maybe go use the facilities, the restroom, and then let's come back and take this in a different direction.
Okay.
Can we do that, Brad?
Yeah, I could play a song or something. Maybe two songs.
It's not going to be one of your dirty songs, is it? Because there are families listening with children.
No, it's fine. It's Rappy McRapperson. He's a Christian rapper.
Christian rapper?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Crappy McRapperson?
Roger, you're on the air. Roger.
Yeah, it's Rappy. R-A, Rappy.
Is there a delay? Can you? I guess not. This is internet. I guess everything is in delay. Isn't that how that works? Everything.
I think so.
Can you
Like
dump,
if something
dump
slips,
it?
if something slips through, I just pull the Cat 5 cable out of the wall real quick and takes care of it.
The who?
Yep.
Right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and pull that Cat 5 cable for a moment or two, and then if I could have a moment to go relieve myself, that would be fantastic.
Sure, you have exactly 7 minutes if you need it.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody, on the Phone Losers of America Prank 'em Up phone call show.
Wow.
Yeah, mama, looking good in those pajamas, smoking real weed higher than the Dalai Lama.
All right, this is inappropriate.
That's not.
Brad.
Bike.
No.
Foamed out handlebars look so tight. Yeah, mama, hop on my Yamaha, push
My niece is listening to this. This is inappropriate.
Cruising through.
Did you pull that Cat 5 out of the wall? Did you do that over there?
No, you're fine. Don't touch anything.
Well, if we're all fine, then what are we doing?
Yeah, we're just sitting here. He's moving screens around and getting the live video broadcast.
I think everything's fine. Roger has a big PLA symbol in the middle of his, like all over him. It's pretty cool looking, actually.
It's not
what
your
does that
fault.
mean?
It's
not
not your
PLA
fault.
symbol?
I don't know if you guys.
Because I'm part of the Palestinian liberation assignment. What?
Yep, that's what we're doing. Anyway, we're back on the air, you guys.
Clay had to lubricate. Clay had to lubricate his lips.
Yeah.
We're professionals.
There you go.
So we're on the air with Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs is the guy in the glasses where we can see his knee. Right? Do I have that right?
No.
You're Roger. Hey.
Yes.
Hey, Roger.
Are you sure that our video is on now, Brad? Because I don't see any video on the stream at all.
Yeah. It takes a minute. You'll see it in a second.
Oh boy, I can't wait, because if there's one thing I like is looking at my face on a screen.
Yeah, it's a little off-putting. Not your face, but just in general.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So we're back on the air, everyone. You can call in if you want. This is the real Mr. Biggs and Roger. Am I supposed to just still call you Roger and Mr. Biggs? I'm a little confused.
No, you can use our real names now.
All right, Dave and Steve. Got Dave and Steve here.
Dave and Buster.
Yep, Dave and Clay. Mr. Biggs is Clay. Roger is Rob. Why'd you guys pick? Why'd you pick Roger? Just because it's close to the name Rob?
Wow.
Did Mr.
I don't
Biggs
even
call
remember.
it? Did he pick it for you?
Often we come up with ideas just on the spur of the moment, and like we don't even think about it. It's just like, boom, there it is.
Roy Bacon, who is a huge fan of Mr. Biggs, and Roger says the magic is now ruined. We've ruined.
Oh no! This was a horrible idea. We should never.
Oh,
maybe
we should have a backstory. Backstory to that.
Maybe I shouldn't put this on the air, or on the feeds and stuff. Are either of you able to see the feed, the picture, the video?
I just refreshed, and I'm afraid that we're about to get a blast of sound. But yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. And I'm gonna.
I'm not trying to look, so I'm not the person to ask.
Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. There we go. Okay, the logo is off of Roger now. Everything's fine. So we're getting calls on the phone, but the calls are not coming into my computer. So I'm gonna reboot my Blink client. So unprofessional.
Man,
it's weird. Well, you guys can't see it anymore. Before I had my phone on the camera, but it's ringing. There's a bunch of calls coming in. Just gotta wait.
So much like as you were getting the video ready, we'll just sit here patiently and wait.
Pretty much.
Okay. That's
okay. Did I tell you, Clay, about the heat rash I have on my left?
Can we see it?
Left.
Let
us know when you're ready.
You didn't tell me about that.
It's not a huge. It just kind of popped up recently. First, I thought it was like a series of bug bites, but then
I've ruined everything. We'll just sit
I
here patiently.
I just gotta turn this off. I'm so sorry.
Man, you've got a delay.
I refreshed the screen and it kicked on the audio. I killed it though. We're good.
Oh no! I thought that was the caller that just called in, and I hung up on him. Sorry, Canada.
That was me. Sorry.
That was all Mr. Biggs.
We're all used to apologizing to Canada right now.
Hi, Canada. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What is that?
Sorry.
What is that cup that you're using right there, Clay? What is that?
It is a, gosh, I don't know where it's from. It's got generic fairground imagery all over it, like a tractor pull and corn dogs.
Mine's Wonder Woman.
But it doesn't say where it's from. It just, I think these are like generic fairground cups that
Right,
you got at a
right.
fair, but they don't say what fair it's from. They could be used at the next fair down the line in case they don't use all of them at this fair.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems to be holding up nicely.
Hi, Brad.
Hi. You're on the air with Clay and Rob. Is their name?
Hi, guys. My name's Moses. We've talked before. I was
Moses.
wondering if,
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Did he call into your show?
Yeah, he called in
the
our
last, the live one, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a live show, and
both of you, okay.
Mr. Big's character is also very generous in responding, so I appreciate that. But I wanted to ask a question that kind of would be, no pun implied, cohesive for all three of you. Brad's 500th show is coming up very soon, and I was wondering if you would consider cutting a commercial for him for something like YouTube or anything, just like some kind of commercial cut.
I didn't ask for
cutting
this.
A commercial
I swear.
for, like an ad or something like that. Yeah.
This is all him. I didn't set this up.
I'm not against it. I don't really understand what that would entail, though. I mean, you just want.
I do.
Okay, well, you tell me then.
Well, there's a couple of things you could do. You could do a pre-roll, which we don't normally do, but we could do a pre-roll for Brad's 500th show.
Oh, you mean promoting the fact that his 500th show is coming?
Something like that, or we're putting shows up on YouTube now, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, we're putting them up on YouTube.
Dedicate an
Maybe
entire episode of Stick It with Mr. Biggs.
Stick It.
Yeah. That would be a great tie-in because I think our shows blend very well. The adhesive, the satirical adhesive advice show, and the guy making prank calls. I think it's a natural mix. It works.
Actually, the pre-roll idea is not that good because
there
it
was
would...
even a prank caller that would exist.
If
That's
you're-
Mr. Biggs' character.
if you're into
something like that. But you
glues-
guys are the creative ones. I'm just giving out some ideas.
This is all good. My favorite thing about internet shows, podcasts, streams, I love many voices all at once, attempting to talk at the same time and stopping and starting again. It's a good listen, and
the best.
it's a lot of fun to participate in too, it turns out.
My favorite thing is Roger's knee.
You seen my knee? Which knee? This knee? This knee?
Yeah, there you go.
This one?
Oh,
all right, fine.
No, I'm
Let's
sorry.
cover
I
up
was
my
just I was just thinking aloud. I was completely serious. I was hoping to see that heat rash on your foot.
No, I don't want to show that. Although I could show you a swollen ankle. I've banged my ankle 2 separate occasions.
Well, don't do that then. That's dumb.
Yeah, they were accidental.
So who's this calling in from Canada?
Oh,
Moses.
Well, I already mentioned my
It's
name.
Moses.
Moses, yeah, we are meant. Is it still Moses?
Moses Quality.
I'm usually bad at asking for names at the beginning of calls, so I just forgot. And
It's radio
amateur,
101, Brad.
amateur.
Where are you calling from, Mr. Canada?
Ottawa, Ontario.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
If I remember correctly, Moses owns I think we called it a handyman business, but you specifically do like remodels and things like that, right?
I do remodels and stuff like that, but handyman type work is the majority of my income. So whenever I do get a remodel, such as a kitchen or a bathroom, that is substantially higher than I'm used to, but it's what I'm aiming for whenever I try to promote myself. So yeah, thank you again for allowing me to promote myself.
Hey, Brad, do you need any handyman work there around the Situation Room?
I think I'm okay right now.
Oh, I'd love to come to see you, Brad. I would do so much work for you if you wanted me to.
I bet you would.
Yeah.
I disagree, Brad, because you seem to have an open portal to deep space behind you right now.
Yeah, it's a real problem. It makes it really
You're going to
cold.
want to seal that up with a
Kinda
tarp
cold in
and
here.
maybe some tape.
There's like if I move the camera over, then It's like right on the edge of that payphone there.
Yeah,
it's a real problem.
It's like you either need to let it come in or you need to seal it up. You're kind of halfway between right now.
I've got kind of a slumlord these days.
to the portal to hell is this.
I need to make a call to my landlord about that. All right, hanging up on you, Canada.
Tell us how that phone call would go, Brad. You're good at the fun calls. But how would that call to your landlord go?
So I'm a tenant of yours, and I just have this small issue with a portal from Portal into Space opening up on my wall, and it's really cold in here. Small problem with vacuum.
Are you having problems breathing? Are you breathing okay?
No, it's 'cause I'm faced this way, so everything's fine.
Okay,
it's only behind me.
What sort of room temperature are you looking at? Because
what Kelvin are you working with?
I'm wearing a couple shirts, just to keep
okay,
the body
layers. That's all I can say right now until we get this. Until we get the maintenance fellow over there, just layers.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Since we've dropped character now, and we're now just talking, and I'm sure is anybody watching anymore? I can't even see.
We have 39 people watching, 38 people watching right now. Plus, there's some people
Wow.
on the Shoutcast listening as well.
We started our original podcast, the Ask Mr. Biggs podcast, back in 2006. And Brad Carter reached out to us, I think in like 2008, something like that.
I was thinking 2010.
No, it was 2008.
Really?
I've seen the email. It was definitely 2008 or 2009, something like that.
Okay.
You still got the inbox.
Oh, yeah, I keep everything. Everything. Just in case, I don't know, one of the people on this call gets raided by the FBI, I would then have the evidence required to keep me out of trouble, because I could turn evidence and act as, I don't know, like a witness.
You never know with Roger.
I know. With the knees.
Yep.
So anyway, Brad, way back, has been a huge supporter of our show, and I just wanted to thank you publicly for that. That was super cool that you reached out to us and you played us on your internet stream that how many people listened to? 7?
Cacti
9?
Radio, yeah, we were up to, I think by the end of it, we were up to like 30 listeners a show.
Now, were you doing that since 2010? Have you been doing it? Because we were on till what,
2012.
11. Wasn't it 11?
Oh.
I don't know.
Well,
the point is,
did you tell me about this
Glue podcast now?
Episode.
Did you tell me about that,
31.
Clay, that guy was streaming us on another?
Yeah.
It is 2012. The one I was playing before this show was 2011. I thought that was the last one, but I'm wrong, as usual.
That was pretty close to the last one, if not the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I
anyway,
didn't
you're
know. You
welcome.
told me that this guy was streaming this on his stream.
Yeah, in fact,
No,
I got the email that he sent me that I then forwarded to you. I've got the timestamps. Listen, don't doubt me on this. I've got the documentation to prove it.
Okay.
Did I know what you were talking about when you
No.
sent that? Or, okay.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Did I ask for clarification?
clarification? You didn't ask for any information. You just probably deleted it.
Illinois, you're on the air.
I'm not from Illinois.
Jesus. Hey.
I'm a completely different person, and you should have given like a spoiler alert, because I don't know if I want to see those people out of character and hear them. It's really weird.
That's understandable.
Can't do it.
We won't do it again.
Yep, this is a first and a last.
And also, you've been on the air the whole time during the break.
Oh, crap.
Brad!
I used to do that in the
What
Cacti.
the hell, man?
I used to do that all the time in the Cacti Radio days. We'd say terrible things about listeners and stuff.
Cacti Radio was the best.
Yep. Who's this calling in from Illinois?
I'm Matlock.
Matlock. Hey, Matlock.
Now, is this the same guy
Yeah,
that
Matlock,
we've
short for
just been
Matlock.
talking to? Or do you have, like, these people
No,
that all
I'm a
do the same
completely different
accent
person. I
calling in?
said it at the beginning of the call.
What are you saying? All foreigners sound the same to you?
No,
Yeah,
I
really.
just thought you had
Yeah,
two
so-
listeners that had very similar accents calling back to back.
If he is the same
Yes,
person,
Kate
he's
has a
calling.
similar accent.
He's tricking the phones and making his call from Illinois this time.
And cactus.
But I believe him. I think you are from. I think you're a different person, a completely different person.
Listen,
Yeah.
if you've got a question, I'm willing to try to answer it. Or if you don't, if you just want to say, I didn't
Well,
want to see
the
your
reason-
face,
the
I
reason- no, no,
totally
the-
get
the
that.
reason I'm
I
calling
deal
is-
with that problem every day.
I'm calling all of you three at once to tell you I currently do not have any questions for either of you.
Okay. Well, keep us.
Wait, he
keep us
called?
updated.
Did he call? Did he say he called because he has no questions?
He just wanted to let us know that he has no questions.
So call,
like
call
that.
back later and let us know what the status of your desire to ask a question is. Okay?
All right, I will.
Thanks.
I'll choose a different number.
Okay.
Good job.
Phones are weird here. Like you hang up, you slam down the phone, and they keep talking for a second. It's very strange. Clay, what's the weird piece of equipment above your head there that's blinking a light and has a coily thingy on it on the wall? Looks like
those
a
are
phone.
those are two different pieces of equipment, actually.
That's a telephone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Old school rotary dial telephone.
It's a weird
Yeah.
looking one. Like it points out in the middle or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of juts out. It's supposed to be mounted on the wall a little bit lower so that the dial is kind of directed up at the user.
That makes
I
sense.
mounted it kind of high because I had an
You're
open
tall.
space there.
I see. Okay.
And the flashy thing is just a flashy light that I put up there because I wanted you to have some way of knowing when my video froze, because I was certain that it would probably
'Cause you
freeze at some point.
Yeah, because you don't move around a lot, so.
Yeah, I'm like,
How would-
I'm like a gecko.
How could we tell? Hey there, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hello. Hello. This would be Mike, and I'm calling from the East Coast, and I'm glad I finally got through.
Hello,
I
Mike.
have several questions.
All right. Question number one.
Question number one would be, I take it the old show had callers from real radio shows. My question is,
Whose idea
how
was that?
long did it?
That was genius.
I have a feeling.
Well, I'm
my
confused.
question
Are we
is,
going to answer the questions piecemeal as they come through, or are we going to hear all of the questions and then attempt to answer them?
I'm going to do them one at a time. Here's the first question.
Yeah, let's do
How
one
long
at a
did
time.
it take to piece those together? And was it a very difficult process? And did they come from all one show or just a variety of shows?
Is that all three questions, or is that number one?
Question number one is a three-part question.
That is correct. 3 parts.
I think that Rob.
What was the first part of the first question? I lost track.
How long did it take to piece those together?
Wow.
And who did it? Like, was it mainly Clay or mainly Rob?
No, we would share that. Oh boy, that's a really complicated process because a big part of it was listing through calls to find one that would work.
Yeah, the call
And
gathering was the most time consuming.
And
where'd
you get those? Like just from radio show recordings, or I'm sorry, I'm adding to the question. I'm sorry.
No. Initially, they came from an assortment of sources, but then eventually we just used George Norrie because, I mean, come on.
He was a consistent source of information and content, so we just kept going back to the well over and over again.
I never
And
realized.
also, they had the nuttiest sounding voices on that show.
Yeah, I never realized it was from George Norrie. That's pretty cool. That makes a lot of sense now I think about it.
Now, they weren't all from George Norrie. It started off as a more diverse group, but eventually, as time goes on, you may notice that most of the calls tend to lean towards the supernatural and weird topics.
Yeah.
Well, we try to twist them so it wasn't about that. Like I know, Clay, that was like sort of a goal where if the caller on Norrie's talking about ghosts or something, we would try to make it something different. So what we did wasn't about ghosts.
Yeah, instead, we tried to make it sound like he was talking about having a problem with his water heater. and he's concerned about the spiritual implications of that.
I would love to hear some missing Ask Mr. Big shows pop up someday. Just occasionally, mysteriously find one.
Well, that's to say that there are missing.
Yeah. Where are those?
No, what I'm saying is you should put some more together. I know it was a big pain in the ass to put them all together, but.
Well, that's very sweet of you to
someday.
say. I have not ruled it out completely, but in order to do that, the amount of time that has to be spent doing that is pretty big, and neither one of us really have that kind of time right now.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it was time consuming. I mean, we worked in the same building across the hall, and we could kind of brainstorm together.
Yep.
And that was time consuming. And now we're across the country, and it would be
what you're saying is
wow.
that listeners should listen to George Norrie and pull clips for you and send them to you at bigscast@gmail.com.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I'm just trying to make it happen.
Idea. Thanks, Brad.
Is he still on?
I think that was his entire question, right?
I am still
East
on.
Coast.
And the other part is not so much a question as it is a statement, because I've used up too much of your time.
Here we go.
Oh, no, don't worry, because this is actually a coherent call. So just take as much time as you want.
The statement is that during the original run, I would always look forward to the new podcast coming in my feed, because it actually was a highlight of my day, because you all made me laugh. There were plenty of nights when I just replayed the same episode over and over and over again because it was so funny. And I would listen to headphones and I would hear different things that I never heard before. And you all come from a radio background, I found out, and it shows, and the care and love that you put into the characters, it shows, and I just want to thank you for that.
Oh, that is very, very nice. And
Yes.
it is heartwarming to know that somebody noticed the details that we put into it,
You're gonna
because
get
we did
teary-eyed.
stress about the details of the sound. And that's cool. Thank you. That was really nice. Brad's show normally doesn't have nice stuff like that on it. That's kind of out of topic, but thanks for saying it anyway.
Thanks for
No
making me
problem.
feel
Well,
insignificant.
I do also have a problem with a cactus, but I'll go into that later.
All right, we're hanging up on this guy.
Oh, jeez. Wow, I'm sad. I'm sad. He was a nice man.
That reminded me, sometimes I will still go back and listen to old episodes, because these days I find myself losing the Biggs character. I think I'm doing it wrong. I'm pretty sure I am doing it wrong.
Yeah, you totally suck at it now.
Yeah, right now you sound nothing like Mr. Biggs.
And I go back to listen to old episodes to try to reset. And there's a lot of times where I have no memory of recording it, preparing it, planning it. It's like it's a whole new show for me. So I get to enjoy it too. So that's kind of fun. And we always did the show to make us laugh. So it has our humor smeared all over it and in every crevice. So I love it too. You and me both.
At no point did we think, oh, lots of people are going to like this. It was more like, let's do something we enjoy and share it with the world. And about 150 people enjoyed it. So
some of those people might even be dead now.
We shut down a server, didn't we, at one point?
Yeah. we got posted on Boing Boing at one point.
I think that's where I heard from you. Heard about you from.
You were part of the big spike.
Yeah, probably. Because
our website and shows were all being served off the server of a friend of mine who ran a local ISP. It was not a very good server. It was a very small one because he was letting me use it for free. And I remember I was driving to work one day, and I got a frantic phone call from him saying, "What the hell did you guys do?" Not only did it take down all of our stuff, but it took down all of his paying clients that he had on the same server. And he was very upset that I didn't give him a heads up that we were about to get posted on Boing Boing and get Boing Boinged on the Boing Boing.
I had that problem once or twice. I'd get put on FARC or just some random website, and a friend of mine did my hosting back then, and I would get phone calls. Hey, caller, you're on the air.
What's up, guys?
What's your name and where are you calling from?
There you go.
My name's Keith, and I'm calling from Central United States of America.
All right.
First time, long time?
First time, long time. I've been watching Phone Losers, at least the YouTube channel, since probably about 2008, 2007.
That's a long time.
It's a long time indeed. I had a question.
I've basically raised you.
One of the older series you guys did was you guys would interfere with the drive-thrus and have like a CB radio about a mile away. Is that something you guys could still do? Is the technology too updated for that, or?
I think it's still possible at some places, but I have not looked into it. I don't even own a scanner anymore for me to check and see what kind of equipment they're using. I
It's
really
probably
just don't know.
encrypted and digital now because of people like you.
Yeah, a lot of them are now. I know that. But I think some of them, like I noticed their headsets and stuff, and some of them have old-looking headsets.
Wait, now I lost that. You would do what with scanners?
We would. So a drive-through speaker, they use wireless communications to take orders.
Okay.
At the drive-through.
Okay.
So we would get on there and pretend to be the people inside and talk to the customers, and that always caused problems.
Now, Clay, you did that when you were a mischievous little boy.
I was telling Brad about that the other night, that I experimented with that a little bit in my youth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had some fun, but I didn't think to record it and make a show and put it on the internet, which didn't exist, and make millions of dollars like Brad Carter does.
Yep.
You were 13 right then. You were 13. So.
I didn't record tons of stuff. Like this one Taco Bell, we harassed the crap out of them through their drive-through speaker because they were by my house, so we just do it from my living room. And like we were bothering them, and then I came on and I'm like, "Hey, this is Joe from the FCC. I understand you're having a problem on this frequency. Please tell me about your problem." And the manager just sat there and went over the whole thing and talked about us over the drive-through speaker. Like the FCC would reach them that way. The caller was trying to say something else.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was pretty much it. Just one of my favorite lines from the drive-thru was, "I'm at the come and go across the street. Come get me. I'm in the freezer." That always makes me laugh. But keep up the good work, guys. Big fan. Thanks for taking my call.
Bye.
He needs to say that at the beginning. First time, long time. Thank you for taking my call.
Please take my question off the air.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Let's take. What was the next question?
Let's take the anonymous call. That's always a good idea.
Oh no.
Caller, go ahead.
Hey, anonymous caller. You're on.
Hello. I was wondering, why are so many weirdos calling into Mr. Big's show? Every time I watch it, there's always these really weird people calling in.
That's an excellent question.
I've noticed that too. Like, from time to time, you get a weirdo.
Well, I have a theory. I have a theory to that. Now, you say every time you watch the show, which means you're watching our test shows that we've done, because we haven't done any official Ask Mr. Big shows yet, just to be clear.
Yeah, I was all over the YouTube, checking it out.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, my theory is that the people that know how to do things and don't need advice have their crap together and don't go to the internet to watch pretend satirical advice shows. Those that do need advice and help will go to the internet and call satirical advice.
Very true.
Yep.
I am dumb when it comes to audio, and I was wondering, what voice effects software to use for Mr. Biggs, because I always wanted to try disguising my voice and see what that sounds like.
Yeah, you could use a little bit more body to your voice for sure. I use the same device that Brad Carter uses. I got the idea from him, and he gave me the recommendation. It is the Roland VT3 voice transformer,
otherwise known as the Carol machine.
What did you use before that, Clay?
Before that, all of the voice transformations for Mr. Biggs would be done via software, editing in post-production.
I'll stop that.
What was the plugin that you used for that?
It was a pitch plugin, the built-in pitch plugin in Adobe Audition is the
Adobe
plugin.
Audition. I love the Adobe software. It's really fun to mess with.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
It's very fun to
We
mess with.
love the Adobe software.
I really appreciate the call from Satan tonight, and I hope that everything's going great with you, and I hope to work with you soon.
You can send along a gift package of lozenges.
Big fan, Satan.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for tuning in.
So we can hang out. All of you, all three of you going to hell. I can't wait.
That sounds like a threat.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm well aware of it.
Yeah. It was nice talking to you guys. I'm going to continue listening.
All right.
All right, bye.
One more question.
Oh, he was asking another question. I'm such a dick.
Oh, he said he gave the classic, "It's nice talking to you guys," and that precedes "bye-bye." What?
Yeah. Come on, get it together, Jack.
Don't say that, and then say, "Oh, I've got another question."
Well, it's on him then. At that point,
that's what I'm saying.
Scott in the chat room is theorizing that that's Mondo calling in as Satan using the voice changer. It would make sense. He's got all that equipment over at the AM station, and could be him.
You know, another thing about Mondo that a lot of people don't realize is that the real life Mondo only has 9 toes.
Whoa,
that is a true fact.
I just assumed Mondo was one of you two.
Well, he was on the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
We worked with a guy named Mondo, and he had to have one of his toes removed, and then you came up with a drink at Whiz Bangs that involved like putting a severed toe in it and letting it soak there.
I didn't come up with the idea. I stole the idea from, I think it was the Klondike bar in Alaska. They have a mummified toe that they would put in their whiskey drinks, and they call it the sour toe cocktail, I think. And I stole that idea from them. That's it.
Weird.
Yeah, not interesting.
No, I mean
it was
toe,
good. It was good.
The toe and the drink.
But Mondo was a real person, but he was a guy that we worked with, and we just kind of stole his name.
I see.
On the show, Mondo was voiced by me, only to have a person kind of on the outside of the weird thing happening between Biggs and Roger. I wanted to have somebody there that was seeing how stupid this conversation was going between Biggs and Roger, and could interject and maybe be the voice of the listener. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that deep. I just wanted to do
Mondo
a funny
was
voice.
awesome. I loved Mondo. I think my favorite thing about the old show. You first.
I love internet shows with lots of voices. I love them.
Speaking of lots of voices, you're on the air, caller, but go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
I just wanted the fun fact about Mondo is that where we worked, was a board operator. That's a fun fact. Just so you know, in case you were wondering what fun facts were, that's one right there.
You don't say.
Oh, I just saw in the chat room, David Hebert says, "Where's Schnitzy?"
I don't know who Schnitzy is.
Is it it was one of your friends?
Schnitzy. Schnitzy was Big's friend that we edited into the beginning of one of the shows. And that was actually, that voice in that show was actually Prince von Anhalt, the scam artist husband of Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Had she died at that time, or?
No, she was still alive.
Wait, the voice that you used was that guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
He had a long-winded interview that he was just screaming about nonsense, and I took that interview and chopped it up and edited it to make it sound like Biggs was having a personal conversation with him. It was one of my favorite parts of the Ask Mr. Big shows. I think that was one of our best bits.
I don't remember that. I need to go back and listen to
to all of them. You'll find it eventually.
Yeah.
Isn't there also Jerry Falwell died, and who was the porn guy? Larry Flint.
Larry Flint
did an interview, but so we messed with the voice, and then instead of talking about Jerry Falwell dying, he was talking about his dog dying. Did you hear that one, Brad?
It's been a while since I've listened to the old Ask Mr. Big.
Brad,
Me
you
too.
never actually listened to the show at all, did you? You've never heard it.
I listened to like 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then got bored with it.
Brad has cartoons to watch. He doesn't have time for this stupid show.
True. Hey, caller,
He's
you're on
got
the
a
air.
Pre-screen dirty
How's it
Jesus
going?
rap songs. What he's got to do.
Yep. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Spam Goblin from Manteca, California.
Hey, Spam Goblin.
Hey, I just got a quick question for you guys.
All right.
Do you think it's illegal, or do you know if it's illegal to call pizza places, pretend you're from the corporate office, get those phone numbers, and then turn around and prank call those people?
I am not sure. I've been wanting to talk to a lawyer about that. I haven't done it since I got arrested.
Because that is a lot of fun. I've done it a couple times, but geez, depending on what you say to these people, like you fondle the pizza or whatever, I don't know if that could get you in trouble. So I stopped doing it. I looked online, I can't figure it out, so I just err on the side of caution and not do that.
It seems like there's a good chance that could get you in trouble.
Which is what you're doing.
Yeah, but not for that.
I've often wondered, though. I mean, I saw some of your guidelines on your website, but have you looked into like some of the legal issues of calling people and recording them and then posting them on the internet? And I mean, because I'm guessing the rules are like different from state to state, or if you call across state lines, or I mean, do you have a little primer about that?
I just don't know. I could probably pretty much everything I do is sketchy and wrong. Is my guess.
I think that a lot of what Brad does is he just tries to reduce the likelihood that he would be caught by not identifying where they are, or not doing it in the same state, things like that.
I'm in a one-party state, so it's legal for me to record calls.
Well, there you go. That's the answer.
But if
so you have a little info about it.
Yeah, but if I'm calling a two-party state, then I think I could be charged in that other state.
But you make it very difficult for somebody to get upset to the point where they would find it necessary to track you down.
Yeah. I try not to be. I try to just make one call so they don't care.
Right. Or if somebody happens to in the office say, "Oh, listen to this prank call," and then say a person who was pranked recognize your voice, and they say, "Hey, that's the jackass who called me. Find him, sue him, put him in jail."
It'll happen someday. As soon as I get my my
Well,
legal
listen,
fees paid
if that
off.
ever happened, the question has to be asked, what are the damages at that point? Are they really damaged by that? They're not identified. Nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
They're just relax, enjoy it.
Seems like he has.
It'll all be
Ben.
worth it. It's been fun.
It'll be right when you retire. They'll haul you off to jail.
Probably.
You won't be able to enjoy the riches of what you've done.
But everyone else did, so whatever.
It's a nice
It's all
attitude.
been
I
worth
like
it.
that.
Yeah, we used to call up. I don't know. We used to call up corporate office, we used to call up. For example, he was calling up Domino's Pizza, for example, and saying, "Hey, I'm the corporate office. Give me all of your customers' info." I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, he was cutting out.
Yeah. We get a manager or whoever to give us a bunch of customer phone numbers, and then we take those phone numbers and prank call the customers as the business. And he wants to know if that's illegal, because we did that all the time back in the day.
Did you ever see that movie about the woman who was basically like it was a fast food restaurant, and the woman in the back room was made to strip naked and.
Yep. That's based on a true story.
I know, and I was just wondering if
I did it.
Yeah, I figured you'd seen it, but that sounds like very similar to what you're doing, minus.
He was probably involved in it.
Yeah, it was based on his own stories. I'm guessing that you sort of draw the line at nudity, fondling.
Making
That's
underage girls strip for the manager.
But that was like a guy claiming to be like somebody in law enforcement or something.
Yeah, he was saying he was a cop, and Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I really need this information. This is very important.
Who would believe that? But he did it all the time, apparently. He did it to like 10 or 20 places, I guess.
Yeah, all over the country, and that's just incredibly phenomenal. I'd like to think that you were somewhat inspired by that.
Oh, I wasn't inspired by that. I don't.
Come on, I mean, remove the skeevy aspect, and it had to have been inspirational.
You gotta respect the game.
Well, I was doing it before him, so he was inspired by me. Maybe I'm responsible.
Maybe so, but I'm just wondering, when you saw that movie, you're just like throwing your fist up in the air. It's like, yeah, you get him. Yeah.
That right there is the best Brad Carter imitation that I have
was
ever
good.
seen.
Good
job.
I'm gonna isolate that. I'm gonna take the video of that.
An animated GIF of Rob going, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we should probably make a thumbnail for this episode.
Yeah, an animated one. Oh yeah, everyone
Where
do
my-
the fist thing. Fists in the air right now. 1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Fist in the air.
Yeah.
Bone losers, yay.
There we go.
Okay.
It's done.
If only if you put like a little arrow up to my picture with the words written under it, not Sasquatch.
Okay, I may have to reposition the windows so our fist bumps are all.
That's your
the best.
problem.
I love when Biggs was asking about batteries. Those Philippines. Oh yeah, that was that was a bonus thing that we did with Mr. Biggs. Rob had the idea because I think we were probably at a point where Ask Mr. Biggs was just getting too difficult, and we were thinking of other ways of coming up with content.
And you're like, fuck this shit.
And I thought, oh great, I can make a phone call to a business and pretend to do things that wasn't real, like Brad.
Real enough where the guy, believed you.
Yeah.
I got a female to male connection.
BNC connector. Looking for a female to male BNC catalog number A357932597. B. Female to male. And
I always encourage Clay to do more of those. I pitched him ideas.
He did.
And he would never want to do them.
Because I don't think that I'm very good at it. When I have to deal.
Oh man, you're such a.
No, this is. Let me say it. I freeze up when I have to deal with real people as Biggs, because especially if they don't know that I'm just doing a stupid voice, I feel ridiculous. I feel like I'm a guy in a Halloween costume jumping around in their way, and
That's
it
why
just
you
feels.
cut up calls from George Norrie and just interact with nothing.
Well, it's different when you're interacting with a recording because they're not. I could edit them to make them react in the way that I want.
It's scripted. But the guy that was selling the oscilloscope, that went perfectly. That was awesome. You don't even remember that one, do you?
I vaguely remember the oscilloscope call. Vaguely, it's on the website.
We were looking up, ads in Penny Saver and pre-Craigslist, I guess. And if it was anything that Clay knew anything about, he'd call. But I guess that one time you did it.
Yeah.
Caller, do you remember the oscilloscope call?
I remember.
Yeah, that thing. Not the call, but whatever. Who's this?
Yes.
Who are
Hello,
you?
Brad.
Hello.
Another accent. This is good.
Mr. Big.
Hi.
Hi, Raja-san.
Hi.
This is Toshiro. Toshiro from Yokohama, Japan.
I love Terrace House. That's a
Nice
great
to meet
show.
you.
Kampai.
Thank you for the show.
Yeah.
Arigato.
Domo
Raja.
arigato. Dum hombre gato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh, itachimashite. In Raja. Raja?
Roger?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Raja, in Japan, we love you. We listen to your show religiously. We thank you
Just
for posting
Roger's show.
prodigiously.
Just Roger's show, right?
Yes, in Japan, we call it Roger and Mr. Big Show.
Yeah.
Oh, well, how do you like that?
Thing about those Orientals, I don't think they see very well.
Asians nowadays, political correctness.
Yeah.
When are you going to branch out on your own, Roger, and do your own show?
Yeah, I'd like to know that myself. When are you going to
Be
go
about
somewhere
cats.
else and do something else?
Cats and baking and I don't know what else.
I've got some ideas. Don't think I don't.
Your
Don't
favorite
think I don't.
snacks. Your favorite snacks to bring into the studio.
I would love for Roger to do something like that, like a daily diary or a weekly diary that we can post to Patreon. I think that would be super cool.
Roger's snack corner.
Oh, that'd be
I know.
awesome.
I'm so bad at coming up with content. Now that Clay and I don't interact on a daily basis, it's been very difficult for me to come up with stuff, because when we were interacting on a daily basis, we would, and I hate this word, but we would riff off of each other, and Clay would say something ridiculous, and then I would, say something ridiculous, and then back and forth, and eventually we'd be like, oh, we should do this on the show. But now I'm here, by myself, with a wife and a couple of cats, and nothing pops into my head on my own. I'm not gifted that way as Clay is.
Well, maybe you should take my phone calls every once in a while, and we wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah, Rob.
You want to do that? Should we do that?
Nah, it's
Set
okay.
up-
I'm not going to make you do that.
I actually thought about doing that. I thought about setting up some sort of weekly, 5-minute chat.
That's awesome. We should get together once a week on Skype with Brad.
One of you need to move.
Live on internet.
One of you just move. Somebody just move. Hanging up on you, Japan.
I'd like to move to Roy. That sounds like a swinging place. Is that a suburb of Albuquerque?
Roy, New Mexico.
The phone.
You hang up the phone first.
お前は電話切ったら俺書くんだよ。電話切って。Hello?
No, you hang up the phone.
That's pretty. That's pretty.
About a cheat day.
That sounds
Oh.
pretty convincing. I actually think he's speaking Japanese.
He is calling from another country. I don't recognize the country code, so he could be Japanese.
Hey,
I
Brad,
guess I got to go bit.
I've got a question for Brad.
Okay.
How long?
I
have
do
you
as
been-
well.
How long have we been doing this tonight?
I'll
How
answer
lo-
it off the air. I was just going to say, I think it's about time to wrap this up. Maybe we can take a couple more calls and.
Wow, he was like looking for the opening for that. I was just gonna say it's time to wrap it up.
If you guys would just stop answering questions, I could wrap this up. But you keep going on and on with the dumb answers.
I'm going
If
to
you
answer
could
this
just
question
stop.
off the air.
Stupid.
Sorry. Is that why you were asking? Were you sick of doing this?
No, I finally realized that this big novelty fairground
empty.
cup that was filled with water has processed through my bloodstream and has
Mine's
ended up
getting
in my
a
bladder.
little low too.
See, now how is that possible? Because one of the last times we drank whiskey, we went through like practically a liter of whiskey, and I urinated like 7 times because it was like out. God, this is so sad.
Good to know.
It was like out like near on my parents' driveway, and we were drinking it and eating snacks. No, it was in the garage. It was in the garage.
You with the snacks.
And with the snacks, and I urinated like 7 times out on the driveway, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it any times.
Well, that's because that night I wasn't actually drinking. I was just pantomiming drinking. I was trying to get you to pass out.
Caller, you are one of the last 3 callers to call in. How's it feel?
Stop so bad.
Also, Daniel's saying to watch your language because Mr. Big's niece is watching. Because Roger was talking about peeing and stuff, and
That's a good point.
Did I say urinated?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
just no dirty talk.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Talking about peeing. Hey, you're on the air. Say hello. Who are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Hey, caller, where you calling
Okay.
from?
This is calling from Dallas, actually. This is Steve. I called your last live show. It was a lot of fun. Just wanted to say I was one of the guys who started listening to you guys when the Boing Boing thing happened. And my kids and I, we used to take a lot of road trips together, and we would listen to your show all the time, and we really enjoyed it. And I got my wife to join the Patreon thing so I could download my recording, and they had a real kick out of hearing you guys again and hearing me talk to you. It was great.
Oh, that is so cool. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Did you know about Mr. Biggs and Roger before PLA, or do you even know what PLA is? Are you just here for them?
No, I just saw you guys. I just saw you guys post up about it, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm home. I'm old. The kids are out in college and shit." So I'm like, "Oh, sorry, shit. Oh, I said it again. Time behind." Oh,
Big's niece is
Okay,
watching.
You gotta hang up on this guy. He cannot control his body language.
Sorry,
Come
sir.
on.
We gotta
There are
let you go.
children listening, including your
Fair
own
enough.
children, and you are acting like a miscreant.
well, they're in their 20s now, so it's not quite the same.
Hey, listen, when they're in their 20s, that is when they are the most impressionable. And they're looking to you to show them an example of how to act.
This is basically you giving them permission to smoke pot.
Yeah. I did it because of you, okay, Dad?
Be a better
Because
father.
of
Come on.
you.
All right, hanging up for real.
Okay.
Wow. That was it? That was it? Seemed like Brad is really, he's like sleepy. He's
kind of a dick.
He's agitated. I have a question for Brad. Would you like take pitches for ideas of who to call?
Pitch? Oh, yeah, all the time. Like I do live shows and I just watch the chat room and I just do whatever anyone says within reason. People send me ideas and email all the time.
Yeah, I think one of Brad's favorite things is people saying, "Hey, you know what you should do?"
That's the best.
You've got to love that.
I didn't phrase it that way, though.
No, I really don't mind. I take people's ideas all the time and turn them into my own and take all the credit. And I don't know. They seem to enjoy it.
Brad.
They don't seem to get angry with me.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air.
Hi.
What country are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from Israel, Tel Aviv.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you have some fans in Israel too.
How many?
Well, I'm the only one right now.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
Are you plural?
But I'm
Because then
trying
it would still be true.
to get some more people joining and listening to your show.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Well, it's actually 5 a.m. right here.
Does Mr. Biggs
Wow.
have fans in Israel?
Well,
he does now.
That's okay. You don't have to answer, but
He
I have a
does
question
now,
for
yeah,
you,
he does
though.
now.
What is the most popular glue or adhesive in Israel right now?
Tough question.
Yeah, I know. I do a show about it, and I deal with that all the damn time.
What's your favorite glue or what do you use the most as a glue or adhesive?
Like if you needed
I'm
to
just-
glue something right
I'm just
now.
in the middle of work. Just I have phone also.
Oh, is it work? Don't bother him right now, okay?
I
He's
just make
trying
it
to
sound
take a
like
call.
we're interrupting your work day. You called us.
We're just
Yeah, it's really funny. I
You're
have
asking-
here like 10 phones. I'm getting calls from all over the country, and I'm also calling you in the middle of the night because I can't sleep.
It's more like the end of the night. You said it's 5:30.
Yeah, well.
Are you one of
yeah,
those
yeah,
call
it's the end
scammers
of the night.
from Israel? Are you one of those?
No. I'm a dispatcher, a 911 dispatcher.
Oh, well, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, you should not.
I'm calling from my own cell phone. It's okay.
He's tying up the lines.
Oh, no, it's not
Still.
okay. You should be taking calls from people in peril right now.
Anyway, just wanted to say I really love your show, Brad, and keep it
you.
going.
Thank you. Thanks for calling.
Well, good night.
Good night. I'm hanging up on you.
Oh man. 911.
That's kind of like a what was the guy? Tom, talk show host, big fat guy, Tom
Arnold?
No, the big fat guy is 1-800-5800-TOM. And
Tom Likas.
Tom Likas, and he would do the same thing. He had like a sounder for when he was hanging up on people.
I remember that.
Hey.
I listened to him for a short
Yeah.
time. Like he would use machine guns or something.
Yeah, bombs, machine
Blow
guns.
me up, Tom. Blow me up.
That's like when you have, yeah, because
Do you care?
So we have to take one more call before I can let you guys go, and nobody's calling in right now. So
Well, then we don't have to take another call.
if you guys want the show to just go on forever, don't call in, and we'll just sit here in awkward silence.
just basically daring people to call and Should there be a time limit, or what should happen?
It's like when I tell people to not hang up the phone. It makes them hang up the phone.
I don't think that Rob is familiar with that thing, and I'm going to make him familiar with it because it's a simple concept that Brad does, and it is. You wouldn't think it would be entertaining at the description of it, but it totally is.
Do you think it'd be funny, Rob, if I told someone to hang up the phone? Does that sound hilarious to you?
Well, just that alone, no.
You see?
All right. See? So
But
you gotta,
it is, and it works.
It's time to prove him
very
wrong.
good.
It's a
So-
intense psychological experiment.
So what happens then? You say hang up the phone?
And they refuse. They're like, no, I'm not hanging up the phone. You can't make me. And it's I've had people
It
stay
goes
on the phone.
on and on. Kind of like this show. The show that we've been doing for what, like 3.5 hours now?
Yeah. I get the hint. I can let you guys go.
Yeah.
See,
Even though nobody's
good.
calling in.
Well, that's because we have probably exhausted the amount of people. Is there anybody still listening?
There's 28 people. It has gone down a little bit.
Well, that's
29.
Yeah, to be expected.
So I think maybe it's time for us to end the show.
Thank you, Brad.
Do you happen to have a show or something that you might want to plug?
Not currently. I mean, I don't do a show now, but I'd love to. I'd love to do a show on internet. That would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. AskMrBiggs.com, and we're on Patreon like everyone else in the universe is these days. And just go to the website, and that's where it's got all the Facebook and stuff, and all the shows are there.
Twitter.com/co-host Roger. Don't forget that one.
Oh, yeah. Roger tweets, and Biggs sometimes tweets, and it is so much fun.
Anonymous caller, say goodbye to Roger and Mr. Biggs. Do it. They hung up on me.
I love Clay. You said, and it's so much fun. You're like actually the host talking about the show as opposed to yourself. It's AskMrBiggs.com. You can find them. They do this
Good
crazy glue show, and it's so much fun.
It's sincerity. I can't fake the sincerity. It's there.
It's like you were doing the interview, and you were just giving that fake.
Yeah.
Check it out, kids.
We're leaving now. Bye. Thanks for being on the show, you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks,
Do
Brad.
it again.
Thank you a lot.
We're doing it again. Oh, he just went vertical. What are you doing, Roger?
Tell me.
Come on, Roger. What are you doing?
Roger, you are bad at internet podcasting.
What
What are you doing? Don't do that.
No kidding, hacking hidden cameras, making hella calls. Social engineering, Brad is catching Pokeballs in the backseat of your car, and he's so very sorry. He was searching for the Snorlax, so we scratched up your Ferrari. Left a number on the dash, so you called him up so fast just to have a little chat. But he's sorry, don't get mad. Cactus, the house is not a pool. And if you buy an iPad on the street, that's not too cool. And if you work at Pizza Hut, he's got you on the camera. Tell them you're from corporate and you're in there just like Santa. A shopping spree, people get deceived, dude. Switching off the power, people will believe you. A Blockbuster red box, we just put it in. RBCP for the win once again. PLA all day. 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 PLA all day.
Hey, log off from the stream, you guys. Log off right now. No, you log off.
At 1 a.m. it's on like, sorry guys, we just destroyed your lawn, and can you trim your trees?
I'll log off for you.
Undercutting neighbors trying to have a yard sale. Plus, Mildred Monday, rest in peace. Calling up her Mexican with jokes on Christmas Eve. And if you're acting racist...
Hi, I'm calling about the Pokemon card.
The show's over. Quit calling.
I'm calling about the Pokemon card.
Hang up the phone.
For YouTube's best, most creative phone pranks. In a scary time when the world is stressed and sad. Thank God we got phone losers, and thank God we still got Brad. Hey, PLA all day. 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 PLA all day.
Hello, who are you holding for?
Electronic.
Oh, that would be me.
I wanted to see if you guys had Mork and Mindy It's on a DVD.
Mork and Mindy?
Yeah, Mork and Mindy.
What do you do? You're like stuck in the past? Come on, watch something new. Watch Scrubs.